14, 3, 11.
Yeah, 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 yeah. In the days of old, 5 elements were known: MCing, DJing, graffiti had grown, B-boy and knowledge, the pillars of the game. But a 6th emerged, adding to the flame. Comics and hip-hop, a fusion so tight. Visual storytelling, lyrics that ignite. From the pages to the beats, a seamless blend. The 6th element, where 2 worlds transcend.
Welcome to the 6th Element Show, where comics and hip-hop flow. Reno and Stu guiding the way, bringing you the culture every day. Welcome to the 6th Element Show, where comics and hip-hop flow. Reno and Stu.
Turn the TV down. What's good, y'all? 6th element of hip hop. I'm your host, Reno Noir. This is your co-host, Stu Dog. What's good, Stu?
What up?
Man,
What up?
we got an amazing show today, man, and all kinds of topics, man. I felt like we have been a little bit drifting from our hip hop roots as of late. So I said we gotta, you know what I mean? We gotta
What happens, man? It
keep
happens.
it official.
You know, hip hop ain't what it used to be, but we
Yeah.
still get something good out of it. We still find a way to get something out of it. But
Every
hasn't
now
been
and then.
much hip hop news I think anybody would want to hear it, really. But we finally got something. You right? We finally got
Mm-hmm.
something.
And speaking of hip hop, before we really get into our show, I want to do a quick shout out to the homie Panda Chop.
Yo, Panda Chop, man. I ain't seen Panda Chop. Man, wait.
I mean, Panda
I
Chop
went on
News.
this. I went on.
Shout out to Panda Chop News, man. Our homie Panda, he up here. Right now, he's got a really good series on. That's why I wanted to bring a little attention to it. It's just an interview that he's done with Necro, one of the illest pure hip hop producers / MCs that happens to be white, but he still is dope regardless. His name's Necro. Definitely underground, but definitely one of the illest producers. I mean, he's up there with academics and those guys. So, but it's a really good interview. So check out Panda Chop News and check out that Necro interview. It's pretty dope. That being said, man, Wu-Tang Clan has put out Mathematics, DJ Mathematics, as he is known, has actually reunited the clan for a head-nodding banger, aka Mandingo is the single that's out right now from the album Black Samson, the Bastard Swordsman, which is the illest like title I've heard in a long time. Very Wu-Tang. Black Samson, the Bastard Swordsman, highly awaited tape. Master Mathematics, RZA, Method Man, Raekwon, Inspector Deck, and Capadonna are all coming on the track right now, Mandingo, that we're about to talk about. And this weekend, they dropped Mandingo, which just their second single since Claudine in 2023, which was fire as fuck. I was showing that off back in 2023. Both are teasers for the next album. Per Genius, they are slated to drop their highly awaited tape, Black Samson, the Bastard Swordsman. It's supposedly expected for streaming platforms April 12th. So just over a month away. Also, it's going to be produced by one of the group's in-house producers, Mathematics. Not entirely, though. RZA will put his production credits on Mandingo. So hopefully he'll be producing more than just that one track. But hopefully this comes to light, especially following their recent news, which is fucking crazy. The clan is breaking up, y'all. It's official. It's going down. The last month they announced their send-off tour, Wu-Tang Clan Final Chamber. Yeah, Run the Jewels will be joining them on the road, and it will be begin on June 6th, 2 days after my birthday. So it would be dope. It's right in B-more where it starts off, Baltimore. It'll run through July 18th, and they will be hitting tons of major markets along the way. Of course, you got your Atlanta, Houston, Chicago, Detroit, Toronto, and New York are just a few of the main ones. But it's sure to be a special moment for Wu-Tang and all their fans, especially if this really is it. We've heard that they're breaking up before, right, Stu? I mean, how many times? I always talk about it.
So, they talk about it, but it ain't gonna happen. Wu Tang
But
is
for
forever.
now,
Wu
Wu Tang
Tang
is
is forever.
forever. Wu Tang is forever.
So,
But for now, they're calling this their last tour. So Wu Tang's always forever and will always have their music. But as far as them getting together and touring again, apparently this is it. So get your tickets. It'll be the last time you'll ever get a chance to see them live. And of course, maybe 10, 20 years from now, they'll do like an old head where they come out like old men, like fucking like Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones. They'll still come back and do a show. Because I remember when the last Led Zeppelin show, they were like, "This is it, never gonna do it again." And I was like, "No, I missed it. I wanted to see it real bad, and never got to see them live." But then they would pop up here and there and do little old head stuff. Same thing with Stones. So I'm sure we'll get stuff like that. But as for their this could be it. And if you're a young guy, young bull like I was when Led Zeppelin did their last tour, make sure you get these tickets, man, to see this because you will regret it. You will regret it. But for now, yes, let's live in the moment and discuss Mandingo. Mandingo, dirty soul boom bap banger with lots of charisma, lots of energy. You got each member bringing their verses, their hard hitting flows and the production is phenomenal. Absolute car worm. The guitar riff loop and the background vocals, tying everything together. As soon as it starts though, it's that head nod right off and
mm,
all the way through. Mandingo Companies has an accompanying video as Wu-Tang tends to do, making a movie out of it as Wu-Tang tends to do. And it's pretty dope. Let's check that out. Boop, boop, boop. Doo 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 doo. Oh, Stu, let me know if the camera gets the screen gets stuck on like it'll be just like one big blank thing and me and you are real small in the corner. Let me know if that happens because I don't really be seeing it.
nah,
All right, so we're gonna watch a little piece of this real quick. We can't
dingo.
listen to the song, we can't listen to the music. It's copywritten, but what we're gonna do is take little quick shots at the subtitles. The old master comes in. He says, "Your time is not up yet, Mandingo." And Mandingo is laying there, all bloodied and bashed on the
Dingo like,
where
like damn.
he
He got
got
Molly
banged up.
Whopped.
He got Molly whopped.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can do it. Is this fast or slow? Stoot. Hits him with the Dragon Ball Z, the Hadoukens. Kamehameha, sorry. I said Street Fighter shit. Mandingo on the license plate. She said, "Let's lie low for a few weeks." That's her. His bottom picked him up, walks him over here.
Or his ride or die because she driving the car.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm looking at it as a black exploitation thing. I said his bottom, like he a pimp or something. He said, "How you been, Gloria? It's time to see you. It's good time to see you." Oh, it's good to see you. She said, "Wish I could say the same. What drags you back here?" "I need to see Big Cho. You know where to find him, but she stays here." "Oh, but she stays here." "Oh yeah." And then he walks back into the kitchen. There's Big Cho. He said, "Big Cho, why you looking at me like you seen a ghost? I think you got an idea why I came to see you." "Yes." My man said, "You need a weapon. You need a weapon. I have many swords and guns, but you need a Shaolin sword from Purple Imperial City." Sends him on a quest.
Get it. Go get it.
Or we meet again, Lee. Thought you were dead, man, dingo. I'll make sure to finish the job this time. Who will let fate decide? A sword's peak. Nice framing there. Little action scene. Chop, chop, ching, chang. Where we at? Go back. Cuts him
Damn.
loose.
Damn.
Weeks later.
Weeks later.
Concentrate, he told him.
Getting
Align the
right.
strength of your body with the power of your mind. Yeah, you're getting right. You're training with his sensei. Well, his Sifu, I should say, because this is Kung Fu, not karate, not samurais. This is clearly Chinese based.
Right.
Yeah, Wu-Tang is Chinese, not Japanese. So
Yeah.
a lot of people think Japan, Wu-Tang, Japan. No, it's China. It's Chinese. Shaolin, China. Wu-Tang Ninjas, China. Wu-Tang Mountain, China.
Damn.
Real place. It's a real place. Wu-Tang Mountain. It's a real place in real life. Two tigers. We've been waiting for you. And then you got. Now this guy does something real weird at the end. I couldn't figure out what he does, but he puts his hand on his hood and then he just goes. Check it out. Hold on, let's do it in slow motion. Maybe I can figure out what he's doing.
Those must be Wu-Tang members.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he doesn't do anything. He just puts his hands on his hood and takes them off for no reason.
Just to make you think something about to happen.
Yeah. Mysterious. To be continued. Cannot wait for the next installment. I'm sure the next video will have the next, maybe it's going to be a part 2 of the song. Maybe it'll just be, a continuation movie wise in their next video, as they're want to do. But yeah, man, Wu-Tang and mathematics been down for many years. Stu, let me know if the screen does that.
Yeah, it's doing it now. It's
All
doing
right,
it now, but it's on. It's the only thing you had on before the offline thing.
All right, let me throw up an image for y'all. So this is the album cover for their new joint. Let me get us back over here. New album cover for the joint. Wu-Tang and Mathematics, Black Samson, the Bastard Swordsman. From Wu-Tang, the saga continues. And it's a very it's a mixed imagery. You've got some gothic European church cathedral sort of ruins. And you definitely have more European style dragon versus a Chinese style dragon. And then he's on a sort of throne with a more European style sword, a bastard sword to be exact. European medieval style. So it's got a very medieval look to it, medieval fantasy versus their typical Wu-Tang, Chinese fare. And then of course the guy is wearing, I don't know, is he wearing a tank top or he's wearing a tank top? So yeah, this is definitely like some mixed imagery there. Very, very dope.
Man.
Very, very dope. Check that out. Yeah. The Wu-Tang. But yeah, Wu-Tang DJ, producer, artist, mathematics, coming with the collection of songs featuring you've got who else is all in it? He's got the clan, also other artists as well. The album has no shortage of bangers, including those singles like we mentioned, Claudine and Mandingo. You've got Method Man, RZA, Capadonna, Inspector Deck, Ghostface, Raekwon, The Jizza, You God, Cool G Rap, Nicole Buss, Cameron Corvette, Crooked Eye, Master Killer, 38 Special, Willie the Kid, Benny the Butcher, Corrupt, Ralph McDaniels, and R.J. Payne, with added production by the RZA. This is an exciting album. Like, this is not their last couple of projects. This is some dope shit. I'm totally excited for this. Last couple been kind of lackluster, you know. It's been kind of like, okay, it was dope. It was Wu-Tang. This shit might be fucking epic. The Studio 4 vinyl signature series is an audiophile grade collector's quality. You can get a 180 gram vinyl mastered and pressed on buyer-sourced Neotech 100% virgin vinyl process with no pollutants or additives for clear fidelity and extended lifetime playback durability. If I'm going physical, I'm going vinyl. That's just how I get down. You know, the track is dope. I wish we could play it
Hear it.
for y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanna hear it, John.
I know. But all you gotta do is go on and check it up. Just go look it up. Just type in not now, after the show. Hold on. After, but yeah, you can check it out. Type in Mandingo or Black Samson or Wu-Tang or any combination of those. But yeah, little let's see. There's some quotables here. Mathematics. Who said this? Who said this? You can be sure of a great body of work, Raekwon told Variety. Mathematics is a top-tier producer who makes music with his soul attached. Now, that's just one of the verses that is so ill on Mandingo, Raekwon. And Ray does not fucking age, bro. He does not disappoint. Like, he does not sound like one of these old head rappers coming back and trying to write some shit again. Like, it's like he never stopped, right? This is straight up out of the regular body of work that we would always have expected from Raekwon back in the 90s and the early 2000s. So very, very cool there. That's just the one song we've heard. Of course, Claudine as well is super dope. Ghostface killing it every time. Method Man. Let me see here. We got a quote by Mathematics himself. He said, Wu-Tang has always been about pushing boundaries musically, artistically, and culturally. With Black Samson the Bastard Swordsman, I'm giving fans not just an album, but a piece of history, something truly one of a kind. He said, this is more than music. It's innovation, storytelling, and legacy in all in one. And I'm excited for everyone to hear the music and see the artwork around this album. And that's how I feel about Wu-Tang, Stu. I feel that Wu-Tang is innovation, storytelling, legacy. It's not just music. So it's a whole. That's why their fans are so hardcore and so die hard, because it's not just music. You actually get into it; it becomes part of your culture. You know what I'm saying? Part of your life. Last year, RZA partnered with the Colorado Symphony Orchestra to record a classical ballet album, which he called A Ballet Through Mud, described as a poignant coming-of-age story that delves into complexities of love, the bonds of friendship, and personal growth. Not your typical Wu-Tang. It's almost like he's going for a Andre with the flute type vibe right there. 2023, RZA put his name to a limited edition Crosley record player. So the Star's previous full-length album, Saturday Afternoon Kung Fu Theater, was released in March 2022. But yeah, it sounds amazing, man. But as far as their breakup, guys, I weep within. They were famous for an. Let me see here. I'll show you guys something. I'll show you something. Boop. Boop. Legendary music group hints at breakup after final tour. They were famous for an album and a Drake track that said they were forever, but apparently that's no longer the case. Legendary hip-hop crew Wu-Tang Clan has announced its final tour billed as Wu-Tang Forever, The Final Chamber. Okay. I had to read this a couple times because I swear to God, this writer, this I ain't gonna say none yet, but I swear he was trying to say that they were famous for a Drake track, which he kind
Nah,
of
yeah.
does.
He
Kind of
does.
does.
It sounds like
They're
yeah.
famous for
It
an
sounds like
album
that. Yeah, for an album, they
that
famous
said
for a
they
lot
were
more.
forever.
Right.
Let's take this and a Drake track out of there because what the fuck? Why are we even mentioning that? We don't talk about that. They were famous for an album that said they were forever, but apparently that's no longer the case. Legendary legendary hip hop crew Wu-Tang Clan has announced its final tour. Billed as Wu-Tang Forever, the Final Chamber. Kind of a contradiction in term. My man said forever, the final. But the trek, which often take group 26 cities, kicks off June 6th. Baltimore wraps up July 18th in Philly. Let's see. RZA says, this is a special moment for me and my Wu brothers to run around the globe together one more time and spread the Wu swag, music, and culture. That's my fucked up RZA imitation. Leader RZA said in a statement, most importantly, to touch our fans and those who have supported us throughout the years. This tour, we're playing songs we've never played before to our audience. And I love that they're doing that. They're playing new tracks that we never heard. Risky, but I'm fucking for it. And me and our production team have designed a Wu-Tang show like anything you've ever seen. So that's interesting.
RZA said they got 8 buses this time. He also said that, but I don't. They're not breaking up. I don't know who wrote this article. He was wrong. He
No,
should
it's not.
be.
It's not. They're not. I mean,
And
what
they
does it
got the
mean breaking
laughs as
up? They
well.
don't live together. Like they don't live together,
No,
so
not like.
they can
Nah, I
come
know they
together
don't
and
live
do an
together, but they
album anytime they want. But they've always
right.
kind of been broken up. Like they never really been together. That's kind of they've always been a bunch of solo artists that come together every now and then and do an album. That's really what it is. And
Mm.
you know, them breaking up, basically what that means when a band says that, you got two things. It could either mean they hate each other and they're just not doing anything together ever again, or two, it means they're not touring anymore. And this is one of those not touring anymore breakups. So they're basically not doing any more live shows as a group. Now, will they still do their own solo acts? Absolutely, positively. So it's not like Wu-Tang's going anywhere. They're just doing their final group tour. And I mean, the guys, they're old. Like they're getting up there. Like they I'm 45. Stu, you what?
52, baby.
52. You got some of these dudes are in their 60s. Where Riz is like 60 something, bro. Like they got they're not doing this much longer. So they're cool. They're done with that. It doesn't mean, anything other than that. But Wu-Tang is a history dates back in 1992. A year later, the group released its debut album, Wu-Tang 36 Chambers, in which the group combined its unique take on hip-hop with their love of kung fu and comic books. Comic books, y'all, that's right. The group's second album, 1997's Wu-Tang Forever, debut top Billboard 200, garnered rave reviews, cementing its position as one of the most beloved and critically acclaimed hip-hop groups. I love that album. The double CD, it was such an epic moment. I remember being in line at the record store. First one in line, in fact. There was a long ass line, and I was at the fucking door. First one. They opened the door. I got the first copy. No bullshit. I was very proud of that. Along with the success, Wu-Tang has also experienced tragedy. Founding member Old Dirty Bastard, numerous brushes with the law, served 2 years behind bars for possession of cocaine, wearing body armor following felony conviction. On November 13th, 2004, he collapsed at the group's New York recording studio and died later that night. Following ODB's death, Wu-Tang reunited 2007 album 8 Diagrams, released follow-ups 2014 and 15. In 2015, album Once Upon a Time in Shaolin, however, was not widely distributed. The group claimed only one copy was in existence, making it a collector's item. It was purchased for $2 million by Pharma Bro Martin Scarelli, but later seized and sold by the U.S. government to help repay debts from his fraud schemes. Several of the members, including RZA, Jizza, Inspector Dex, Ghostface Killer, Raekwon, You God, and Master Killer, have released solo albums. RZA and Method Man have also appeared in films, and the group's story. Hey, whoa, Raekwon have been in a film, I believe. Ghost been in films. I think Deck was in a film. Let's give them their credit now. And the group story was dramatized in 2019 Hulu miniseries Wu-Tang American Saga. But yeah, stuff we all know. But yeah, so no big no big crushing news from that article. But hey, that's the homies right there. I remember I remember going backstage and getting to chill with them. Not backstage rather, but actually at a, let me know when the screen does that, Stu. At a
Uh,
VIP after party type place. Uh yeah, cut the TV off, man. We doing a show. Marvel's
nah, I'm doing the show too. We
we
doing we getting Wu Tang. We getting this Wu Tang thing going on right here, right now.
alright.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I know you've listened to the song, Stu. What'd you think about Mandingo? You've heard it already.
yeah, I liked it. I thought it was cool. I'm waiting on the album, baby. Waiting on that album.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I like
I
oh,
like the vibe. I just like the way the whole thing went down. Like I like the whole '70s, vibe with the album and everything. I thought it was fly, bro. Like
yeah.
as far as the track is tight. It's a little, for a commercial track, it's tight.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. And it's not like Gravel Pit because everybody hates
Oh
Gravel
god.
Pit. But
No.
what's funny? I watched an interview with RZA the other day. He was on Breakfast Club. I watched the whole interview with him, and he said that RZA said that that is their most popular song outside the U.S. He said he said
Oh
like
yeah.
here in the U.S. Yeah, he said if they perform that here in the U.S. He said he said even the Klan be like, look, stop. But he said, but when they go overseas and it come on, doom doom. He said they go crazy. He said he said we only do
I
that. We only
believe it.
perform that overseas. He said
Yeah.
because they go wild for that. He said it's sold well overseas. And what I didn't know was that because Charlemagne the God asked him, he was like, look, man, that don't even fit y'all. And RZA said because it wasn't for us. Apparently, the beat for Gravel Pit was for Aaliyah, and Aaliyah was supposed to do a song produced by RZA, and RZA made that beat for her. She heard the
Oh.
beat, knew what it was. Even the video with them with the caveman and all of that, they came up with
Flintstones.
that whole idea. Yeah, they came up with all that Flintstone stuff for Aaliyah, and she was with it. They said RZA said she was actually looking forward
Hell
to
yeah,
it.
she was down.
She was gonna be singing over that Gravel Pit beat,
Yeah.
and she died before it could all get done. But
Mhm.
RZA said he did the track for her, gave her a copy of it. She loved it, and then they came up with the video idea, but she died before she. So he said, he was just playing around one day and was like, "Yo, got the whole plan on it," and they did it. They did the idea and they did the song, but he said it's one of their most hated songs, and it's their most hated song, like in the U.S. And he said that but outside the U.S., overseas, Japan, Europe, Germany,
I mean,
Australia, they love it.
it wasn't that bad. I mean, people dug it over here for a while. It just in the hardcore, MC culture, it's not it's considered commercial, and people, yeah, people in that world definitely don't like it. But I mean, it definitely had a fucking heavy
Now, RZA,
rotation over here.
yeah,
Yeah.
now RZA said it
Maybe
was a
that's what
commercial
it
track.
was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
RZA admitted. He said it was, but he said it wasn't for them. He said it wasn't really. We weren't supposed to do that. And he
Yeah,
said
that's
he just,
interesting. I didn't know that about
yeah,
Aaliyah. I didn't know that.
yeah. He said he put it together and they did it. He said but he said it's controversial for them as well.
Oh,
And he also was talking about how Charlemagne asked him who does because when they were talking about this tour, putting it together. RZA said the hardest thing to do when they tour is getting all 9 members together, or 8 members now, but to do it. And he
right.
said because usually everybody's doing something, like they all got stuff they're doing. They got jobs, they got this, they got other, and they tour solely. They tour solo. But I didn't
Mhm.
know. He asked Charlemagne and what's his name, DJ Envy. He said, "Who do you think tours the most out of all the Wu Tang Clan? Who do you think does the most tours a year?" And they all, get a little, who they thought constituent, and they were all wrong. And RZA was like, "It's Jizza." He said, "Jizza does the most tours out of all of us. Like he's always touring." He said Jizza does like 100 and something tours a year or something like that, or shows. He does 100 something shows a year. But he said out of all the guys that do shows, he said RZA does the most. I mean, Jizza does the most out of everybody. And I was
Mm.
like, wow. I was like,
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
but when you think about it, like he said, Liquid Swords is a classic album. And it's so classic, it's actually considered one of the best hip hop albums ever made. Period. Point blank. And when you look up the
What
track
is
list,
what? Liquid
Liquid
Swords?
Swords. Liquid
Yeah, for
Swords, yeah.
yeah.
And so he says when Jizz is touring, that's what he's doing. He's doing Liquid Swords. Uh and he said people love it. And he says when he talks to Jizz about it, Jizz is like, man, listen, it's like they can't get enough of it. And so he said, I do the album and they love it. And
Yeah.
RZA was said they were asking RZA about the track selection, like how did he pick, putting the tracks together, because once you get to I think it's Cold World, Gold, Liquid Swords, Duel of the Iron Mike, and Fourth Chamber, I think it is. But RZA said that the song selection, when he did it, he put all the bangers in a row, like that he knew was gonna be bangers. And he said when you listen to the album, that's what it's like. It's like that. So all he was saying, like all the I think it's Cold World, Labels, Fourth Chamber, and
Fourth chamber.
Shadowboxing. And Shadowbox. He said those four songs, RZA said I arranged those in a row. Like, because he said that you go through a process when you make an album of what song comes first and what, so the tempo could be right. And he said he made sure that those four songs stayed together in a row, because he said to him those were the bangers of the album in his recollection. Well, as far as his opinion is concerned. But apparently everybody else agrees with him, because he said that Jizza told him that normally that when he goes on tour, those are the songs they go craziest over. Those four songs. They go, he said everybody goes crazy over those four songs right there. I was like, wow. And like they're the most commercial tracks on the album. Labels, Cold World, well not Fourth Chamber, but Labels, Cold World, and Gold. But he said they love it. He said the fans love it. I was like, dang. But he
Interesting.
went, yeah. And he went on to talk about,
Well, this is the Oh, what's
Raekwon.
up?
Oh, and he said he went on to talk about Raekwon's new album. He said he could talk about it, which he did. And he said Raekwon's album is almost done. That should be coming out soon. And he said from what he heard, it's fire.
Yeah.
And they were asking, did he do any tracks on it? He said, yeah. He said, of course. He said, I'm the Abbott. I got to do track. He said, matter of fact, I'm the one to prove the whole thing. So he was like, that ain't gonna never change. So he said, Raekwon, let him listen to the stuff that he's not gonna do. And he said it was fire. So he said he approved it. And he said Raekwon's album should be done. RZA said I'm just gonna put my finishing touches on it, but other than that, it's gonna be done. Apparently he said Ghost. I think he said not Ghost. He said Mathematics got something coming out. Supreme. Uh, and he said Ray. He
Well, this
talked
is the
about expected. He
this is
talked
what
about
this is
expected.
what the people saying about the song Mandingo that we were talking about.
Ah,
This is just people from albumoftheyear.org. They said, let's see, this guy says an album with tracks like this would be amazing. One word, absolutely incredible. Let me see if there's any bad ones. Wait, what the fuck? This is actually good. He tripping. What he fried young buck. Hold on now. The cover may be complete shit, but this is the woo. This is the woo we're getting for the album. Then this is maybe the Iron Flag levels of great. So he's a big fan of Iron Flag. Ladies and gentlemen, which was dope. This is how you do a rap song. It's gritty and has those backing vocals that bring the before 2000 sound, although it still sounds like it's fit for modern day. I believe this could be part of the movie due to the credits and character scenes inside the song. If so, this must be a great movie because it is awesome. Not only that, but it has a wild and full, out loud, clear sound that is bound to turn any frown upside down, with screams and cuts fit into the perfect place. Okay. That's one. That's from Melopy. As I said, Wu Tang is back, baby. Yeah, a lot of people thought Wu Tang was done. As far as albums, I mean, that was pretty much the consensus. People thought they weren't doing any more albums. And technically, guys, this is not technically a Wu Tang album, by the way. This is a Elseworlds Wu Tang album to make it make sense. Like, this is Mathematics doing an album, making it. I think there was I think Saga Continues is in that way as well. When Mathematics does the whole, the production,
Nah,
there's this,
Saga Continues is a that's an official album. They had on the
one that
last album
Mathematics did that yeah, it's another one
he
Mathematics.
did it. He did it because the last album they put out 8 diagrams. There was a lot of controversy within the clan of the
Right,
album. A lot of the artists on the album didn't like it, and
right,
they thought that RZA,
right.
either he was too much into not sampling and
Yeah,
things like that, and they didn't like the beats. So RZA got mad and said, "Well, you know what? Next time I'm gonna be the MC on the album, and y'all gonna do it." And they like Mathematics did all the beats, and it was dope. And RZA
yeah.
apologized when Saga Continues came out. RZA apologized and was like, "Yo, like they were right. I,
They were right.
I gotta get back to the basics." And he said, but he did say that ever
Well,
since
he
he
didn't.
did
I
the
mean, he
second
didn't.
album when he had the orchestra coming in and all that, RZA
Yeah,
was like, I'm just intrigued by that stuff, like all those different sounds and instruments. RZA
yeah. He
said,
did the ballet album, the
Yeah,
orchestra
yeah,
album. Yeah. Well, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
this album in particular, Black Samson, is not considered a Wu album because Mathematics produced it. Um,
yeah.
and it also references the Saga Continues, implying that the Saga Continues is also part of that Elseworlds universe. Um, Kieran says, super solid single considering most MCs fall off around 50. Great production, great verses from all members featured. Makes me very excited for the bit. That's what I mean. These guys are over 50. These guys are over 50, most of them.
Yeah,
And
RZA's 55. Yeah, RZA's
yeah,
about 55. To be honest
yeah,
with you.
yeah. Good dingo. My man said this one go down in history. Shitty fucking AI music video. They did point out. This what is this, bro? Wu-Tang still making bangers in 2025. You love to see it. My only complaint is that Ghostface would have went ballistic on this beat, but they didn't put him on there. I mean, I'm always gonna be, any track Ghost ain't on, I feel is a missed opportunity because I feel like Ghost is just the illest, but he got the illest style in my opinion. Wait, the AI album? No fucking way, no fucking way. I will not be dumb. You are dumb, sir, because it is not an AI album. Moron. Should have been Ghostface instead of Capadonna. Ooh, that's a hot take. I thought Capadonna's verse was insane. Like, I was super hyped to hear Cap on this track. So Cap is on this track. Coming with that classic cap shit. The greats of the hip hop world reunite for album this year. Single and everything go off. We could have a rap so album of the year contender on our hands. Oh man, I can't wait to hear the rest of it. I can't wait to hear the rest of it because so far Claudine and Mandingo are phenomenal. And as expected, I mean, math. Honestly, I'm more like confident in Mathematics than RZA right now. Not saying, hear me out. RZA is he's done it all, right? He's getting up there, right? And so he's gonna tend to be very experimental. Maybe go off on some weird tangent as he's wont to do. Hence Bobby Digital albums, and so we never know how that could go. But with Mathematics, he's studied the original RZA. He's studied the original RZA. He's got it down pat. He's the best mock RZA producer out there, which is what he is. I mean, just to be honest, he's a oh, you did, you might think RZA made this type shit. And because he's down with the clan, that shit is allowed and accepted and all of that. But yeah, man, go check it out, man. Dingo. Yo, let me know if the screen is like this, bro.
Yeah, it's like that. We good.
Oh, okay. All right. Appreciate it. See. Okay. One World Under Doom. I got the comic in hand. And it's a dope story so far. This book right here, I think is going to potentially lead into the MCU, and I'll explain all that too. But yeah, the basically the Marvel universe is completely doomed right here. Pun intended. 6 months ago, Victor Von Doom stole the mantle and mystical powers of Doctor Strange in this year crossover event, Blood Hunt, which you might want to read at least the last 2 issues of the main Blood Hunt just to understand or just to see how Strange gets the cape, the cloak, the fucking Sorcerer Supreme. Let me see. I gotta. There he is with the cloak. Gotta give you a couple of them. Oh, that one has Fantastic Four in it, but here he is with the cloak. That's the Sorcerer Supreme. When you become Sorcerer Supreme, and I don't know how he got the cape off of him, but he did. I haven't read that issue of Blood Hunt yet. I just jumped straight to Doom. I haven't gotten through that stack of comics, which is yay high, with Blood Hunt, but I had to jump on this, man. It's Doom. I mean, it's Doom. What are you gonna do? And but as far as this particular this event that we'll call it, because it's a crossover event, it's not just a mini series or a run, it is an actual crossover event. So it's going to span over, other titles. Let me see if we've got a couple here. You've got your Fantastic Four crossover. You've got your Weapon X crossover, which we're going to look at is phenomenal, and your Red Hulk crossover. These are all One World Under Doom. You see the little One World Under Doom at the top of all of them. And so that's how you'll know in your comic shop when you see the One World Over Doom logo at the top. Now, why would you want to read this comic? Why would you want to read the One World Over Doom event? It's going to cost you a ton of money because it's so many comics. You got to buy all the tie-ins, blah, blah, blah. No, you don't. Just buy the main run, the One World Under Doom main ones. This is number 1. They'll have a few more. And then pick the characters you like. This one I got not because I'm a big Red Hulk fan per se, but the art was really good. This one, I'm a big fan of this team and these characters. And the art is really good. Don't know why I bought this. Totally regret it. Abhorrent, absolute rubbish. It's just nonsense. The Fantastic Four. It's like I don't even. I'm not gonna waste a lot of time on it. It's really lame, really lame. But yeah, you've got One World Under Doom, number 1 in the whole deal. So he steals the Sorcerer Supreme mantle from Doctor Strange in Blood Hunt, and in order to save the world from the vampire invasion that is Blood Hunt. That's what Blood Hunt's about. It's a vampire invasion. Everybody's fucked. Doom comes through. He's like, Strange, you ain't doing nothing with the powers that you got. You
But
can
I
stop
got
all of this.
this.
I got
I'm
this.
Doom. I got this. I'm
I'm
Doom. I
Doom.
got this.
Word. He just took over, and so
Which
so
which
so he,
which Reno in Doom's defense, he right. Strange
mhm.
should be able to knock that out. He should have something for that.
Well, he's supposed to, right? Sorcerer Supreme and all that, but
So
he's definitely
Supreme,
not.
yeah.
Bro, Doom is the
Yeah.
fucking Doom should have been the Sorcerer Supreme, to be honest. Like Doom is the Sorcerer Supreme.
You
My
know what, man? When I was a kid, I didn't understand Doom, man. Like I knew
mm,
he had the armor and all that, but I
yeah,
never got it about him until I got older and I
yeah,
started reading up on him, reading his comics, reading little different stories he is in, and I
yeah.
got it, man. I was like, Doom is dope. But as
Same.
a kid, I was like, why is this dude got this armor on? He never show his face. He always going that like, what does Doctor Doom really do? I used to, like I never really knew until I got older.
Yeah, man. Long live Doctor Doom. I know, I agree. Like he was very enigmatic to me as a kid. Like I was like, okay, is he a robot? Does he have electrical
Yeah,
powers? Is he a
powers.
cyborg?
Yeah, cyborg.
Is
Yeah,
he
we didn't.
tech
Yeah,
guy? Come to find out, he's
yeah.
this wizard. He's this
Yep.
sorcerer,
Is the
right?
sorcerer? Yeah.
So yeah, Doom is crazy. He's a combination of sorcery and sci-fi. All the science, all the technology,
He's
all of that shit.
he's with sorcery meets science, with magic and
Yeah, man.
science connect. That's Doom.
Yo, my bad, yo. I missed the uh the greetings in the comments, man. Salute Corey Adger. Peace, 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 Slade. And peace, EGC.
Coriander, Slade,
Word, word,
EGC.
word.
What up?
Slade said he don't want to believe it. Wu-Tang is not breaking up. Nope, nope, nope. I can't. No, no, no. I just can't. A Wu-Tang movie. Yeah. A Wu-Tang movie. Got to see it. I got faith in the RZA. Slade said, I got faith in the RZA, Reno. And I agree. I got faith in the RZA in a lot of ways. But if you ask me, am I 1,000% confident that he produces an album is going to be exactly what I'm looking for in a Wu-Tang album today? Nope, I'm not. Mathematics, 100%, because he's doing what RZA used to do. RZA doesn't really do what he used to do anymore, which is fine. If you want, you want evolution, you want something new, cool. But if you're and often I do. But if I'm looking for that old classic Wu-Tang sound, honestly, mathematics is where you want to go. That's what you want to fuck with. But sorry, I just had to dip back to the comments. Back to the Doom. Let me show, he says, Doom says, let me show you what it means to save the world. Talking to the heroes, because they fucked up. They didn't save the world. The vampires were taking over. So Doom agreed to abdicate the mantle of Sorcerer Supreme only after doing what the Avengers and them could not. And so Doom made his declaration, disappears behind his magically protected borders in Latveria, but then he broadcasts a message across the globe, a whole bunch of TV screens, right? Or all the TV screens in the world, rather. He's on there, right? Doing his classic comic book. Dr. Doom is taking over the TV. Fucking awesome. But in this day and age, it's probably the internet. He's right. He's all over social media. He's all over fucking YouTube. He's talking about announcing that Emperor Doom would unify the world as a new grand united Latveria, which is his little country, Latveria. And he says the whole world is now Latveria, one world under Doom. Now, Marvel Comics announced the status quo shattering event during San Diego Comic-Con back in 2024, and has been leading up to Doom's reign in issues like Fantastic Four and Amazing Spider-Man, where they've built up to this, and then Blood Hunt. All this to get to the fact that, not coincidentally, Marvel Studios also is announcing the same weekend that Robert Downey Jr. is returning to the MCU as Dr. Doom in Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, and maybe even Fantastic Four. With One World Under Doom #1 going on sale, having gone on sale February 12th, Marvel released a teaser poster signaling that Doom's New World Order is about to begin. Let me finish telling you about this, and I'm going to tell you why that is so significant for the MCU, okay? But this is a 9-issue miniseries. This is going to be a 9-issue series, right?
Yeah.
But then there's going to be all these tie-ins, right? All the different titles, these. So they're called tie-ins, guys. The main comic is going to have 9 issues, One World Under Doom 1 through 9. And the writer, Ryan North, who is famous for doing what's considered maybe the best Fantastic Four run in decades, maybe ever, and artist R.B. Silva, who's famous for doing a lot of great work. They're coming through in this line-wide event, okay, spanning upcoming issues of Fantastic Four, Iron Man, Amazing Spider-Man, Avengers, Storm, X-Factor, Weapon X. And so Marvel is also launching a number of, all these tie-ins that aren't like, you got the Red Hulk rampaging, through, and who by Benjamin Percy, who's famous for doing Wolverine and Deadpool comics as the writer. Jeff Shaw, Wolverine. Stephen Strange becomes Doctor Strange of Asgard in a new ongoing from Derek Landy that's going to tie in. Carlos Magno, famous from Captain America, and Tiger Division becomes Doom's Division. And Tiger Division, by the way, is a Korean superhero team, right? 5-issue series called Doom's Division, based on the Korean comic by writer Yoon Ha Lee, who did Machineries of the Empire, which is crazy. Artist Minku Jung, who did Star Wars Dr. Aphra, phenomenal. Also launching in February, the 5-issue Doom Academy by Mackenzie Cadenhand, who did Marvel Mutts. And then Pascal Ferry does from Doctor Strange, does the 5-issue Doom tie-in Thunderbolts Doomstrike from writers Colin Kelly, who did Nyx, and Jackson Lansing, who did Power Man Timeless. All drawn by Tommaso Bianchi, who you've seen do Giant Size Silver Surfer. In April, Emperor of the One World Doom assembles the Superior Avengers, which is a team where you're going to see like Superior Iron Man and shit like that, a kind of version. Is what it seems like on the cover, and it's like a team of Earth's mightiest villains, conceived by Steve Fox, who did X-Men 97 and New Champions, and the artist Luca Marisa, who did X-Men Forever and She-Hulk. So that's cool. Another team of villains, which is all the rage right now. So there you go. One World Under Doom is a story I've been working on since 2023. Ryan North, who writes this, said, and so yeah. This huge head start, he said, is such a gift when telling a story like this. I can make sure it all hangs together properly, and for other artists working on tie-ins. Guys, pay attention right now, okay? I'm not just fucking drolling on here. I'm getting somewhere, and this is actually going to be very interesting when I tell you how this fucking relates to the MCU. Shout out Kai, Captain Sky, Captain Charisma. What up, Stu and Reno? Much love, y'all. Salute. The
Salute.
Yeah, man. So the writer Ryan North, he says I can make sure it all hangs. So this is significant. Okay, his quote here: "This huge head start is such a gift when telling a story like this." A head start. I'll tell you what that means. I can make sure it all hangs together properly. What hangs together? I'll tell you. And for other artists working on tie-ins with their books, I can share completed scripts instead of just an idea of what happens. Because of that, I'm very excited where the story has gone and can go. It's been really exciting to hear what other teams have planned for their books to take advantage of this new status quo that we're all pulling in the same direction. Now, it was either last week or the week before I did a little segment where I showed you guys this. Oh, I'm going to break it down, Slade. I'm going to bust it up real good. Watch this. Okay. So I broke this little gem here, and it was confirmation of what we've already dreaded and kind of knew. And the title of the article is Marvel Exec Editor confirms publisher's current purpose is to develop new ideas and new stories that can serve as creative fodder for eventual film and animation development. Wherein we learned that, let's see what he says. Burvort, who serves as publisher's senior vice president of publishing and oversees its X-Men line, provided this insight into the company's current direction while answering a fan question on February 9th of his entry to personal A Man with a Hat Substack blog. That week, reader prompted by their recent building of Lego new X-Mansion set inquired with the editor as if there was any particular reason that he and the rest of the X office declined to take any aesthetic inspiration from the teams The X-Men the Animated Series or X-Men 97 era for their recent From the Ashes editorial relaunch. Now, this is the From the Ashes X-Men. This is the new X-Men, right? New X-Men since the Krakoa thing is over, and this is From the Ashes, and it's the new X-Men, and it looks absolutely nothing like X-Men the Animated Series or X-Men 97, which is supposed to be X-Men 97. Isn't that where Marvel is with the X-Men right now? So,
Yep.
question is obviously, why doesn't it look like that? Now, particularly given that the version of Marvel's Merry Band of Mutants holds the most mainstream recognition. So, in turn, the editor explained that X-Men 97 and X-Men Logo Mansion are based on the X-Men era of that particular era, an era that fans were very vocally afraid things would be shifting back to when the progressive Krakoa era had run its course. But the purpose of Marvel Publishing is to be out in front and the tip of the spear, generating new ideas, new stories that can serve as creative fodder for an eventual film and animation development. Let me read that again. The purpose of Marvel Publishing is to be out in front, the tip of the spear, generating new ideas and new stories that can serve as creative fodder for eventual film and animation development. The purpose of Marvel Publishing is to create fodder for film and television adaptations, film and animation development. Now, here we are with a Doom
Alright, this
comic
thing is,
coming out.
you got the screen too big in the middle.
I appreciate that. Coming out right now at the same time as the movie is about to come out with Robert Downey Jr. Now, in this comic, Doom basically takes over the entire world and does all this great shit, right? Like, oh, by the way, here's the cover for Doctor Strange of Asgard comic that's coming out. Doctor Strange of Asgard, because remember, he's not the Sorcerer Supreme anymore. He's Doctor Strange of Asgard now. Doom reigns supreme. So, but in the comic here, Doom does all this great shit. Like everything you would want. Free healthcare for everyone in the world.
Mm.
Let me tell you what he bestows. What he bestows upon us. I was like, what? All right, he says, earlier this morning, this is Doom talking. Earlier this morning, the leaders of every nation on earth, kings and queens, warlords, presidents of each willingly swore fealty to Doom. So everyone in the world swore fealty to Doom and says Doom has the right idea and we're following Doom and all hail Doom. As of this very moment, every nation on earth has become a province of a unified earth, a new grand united Latveria. To those watching the broadcast, it must be shocking to hear the changes of hierarchies. And now here's some of the things that I'm going to do. Perhaps you thought I was going to have death squads hunting down enemies of Doom and ending the threat of hatred, the hated Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four, or building eternal monuments or slave labor. No, that's not how Doom gets down. No, for in the face of unprecedented power, Doom is not petty. Doom is humble. Doom is magnanimous. And Doom begins with his rule and Doom begins his rule with but two small decrees. War between nations is of course outlawed. So no more war. I won't stand for it. He said what he said. He said there be no conflict between Latveria's provinces. I won't tolerate it. And this is the new peace under Doom, the Pax Victoris, and it's the first of Doom's gifts to the world. The second gift is this: you are all citizens of Earth, yet you have not all until now been treated with the same baseline respect that demands. You have struggled under inequality. You have been made to go without medicine, without knowledge, and you've been made to pay for basic care, or you've been made to die. And there is a certain minimum standard of living that Latveria bestows and insists upon for all her citizens. Certain privileges to being Latverian. Every nation will now not only care for the bodies of their citizens through free and truly universal health care, free and truly universal, but it will also care for their minds through local elite tier education, all the way to pre-graduate, postgraduate levels for everyone who chooses to avail themselves of it. So basically, college, university level, postgraduate master's degree, it's free. If you want to do it, if you're going to put in the work and you want to fucking do it, you can do it. Why charge you? And so no longer shall the highest levels of attainment be reserved only for those who can afford emigration, much less schooling. These ideas, these easy, inarguable wins for civilization are not new. They are expensive, yes, and complex, yes, but they were never impossible. They have simply been left on the table through greed, through moral cowardice, and doom suffers from neither affliction. This is incidentally the moment when my address would have ended, were it not for an uprising already planned against me. Okay, so then he goes and blah, 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 and he shows what he can do if you fuck with him. But other than that, hey, people are going to be happy under Doom. And that's how it starts off. And the heroes are like, the fuck? And they're going to look like assholes because they're going to come in. They're like, well, we got to stop him. We got to stop this. How dare he give healthcare to everyone?
Who is he? Who does he think he is? Doom?
We got to put a stop to this. You know, equality. How dare he? And then, I don't know. I was a little bit like, who does Cap think he is? Talking to Iron Man. Iron Man says, "There's no way this is real." And Cap says, that new flag flying above the White House sure says it is otherwise, Iron Man.
Mm-mm.
You know, here's Doctor Strange with his blue cloak on because he's not the Sorcerer Supreme anymore. So Baron Zemo pops in, and Zemo's like, "Fuck that! Me and AIM, we're going in. We're not taking this shit. Doom is not about to, tell AIM what to do. AIM ain't with it, and we're gonna attack." So with that, the heroes are talking, and they're like, "Yo, we gotta fucking maybe while since Baron Zemo stormed the beaches, maybe we should." Captain Marvel and everybody, and Thor and the whole everybody. Spider-Man's there, everybody. So they roll in, they storm the beaches of Latveria like they figured Zemo did. When they get in there, they beat up some dudes and they fight Doom riding a giant T-Rex, a giant Doombot T-Rex. And then Zemo's in there like, "I'm chilling with Doom." He said, "Hello again, Earth. Baron Zemo here to announce that I was in fact mistaken. Doom is doing what's best for the world, and Hydra is going to join him." I said AIM, I meant Hydra. Zemo has Hydra, not AIM. There's a better way, and Doom has found it. And there he is with his arm suspiciously sus around Doom's waist. Oh, no, that's not what that is. Okay, my bad. That's Doom with his arm on Zemo's shoulder. I thought Zemo had his arm around Doom's waist. Like he was like...
Yeah, it do look kind of suspect.
But yeah, so yeah. He's like, "Doom demands schools and hospitals, thus Hydra will build them under whatever supervision local authorities deem appropriate to ensure that they are quickly and effectively built." So right now, like Doom and like Zemo, they're like making the world a better place. That would have been dope if that T-Rex was Devil Dinosaur. Devil Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, they have something going on. They're in one of these, something I saw. I just saw them in something. I don't know. But yeah, that would have been hard. But yeah, so that's the sort of intro. And like I'm thinking, what I'm saying is like we know for a fact that all this shit was done and it is done to as fodder for the MCU. So we know in some way they set this up so that something from here will translate to the movie. So Robert Downey, in some way, his Doom character is going to in some way be doing something in some way similar to this Doom. Is he going to be from his universe where he's like this like benevolent ruler that is like good to the citizens, but like is absolute. Like you can't, you can't challenge him. It's Doom, right? So in some way, it's gonna right now. There's a producer, Marvel Studios MCU producer named Nate Moore, who's gonna explain for us why the MCU purposely avoids hiring writers that are comic book fans. You hear me? Why they avoid writers who are hardcore comic book fans. And
Don't know. Don't know.
well, I'm gonna tell you because they're gonna tell you. Actually, I'm not gonna tell you. The executive at MCU is gonna tell you. He's gonna tell you why they purposely don't hire fans that writers that are comic fans. It says right here, Marvel Studios producer Namor explains why they avoid writers who are hardcore comic book fans. And Hulk's pissed about it. I know I am. Since Marvel Studios released Iron Man 2008, they found a great balance between paying homage to the comic books while also doing something new with these characters, right? So, and they always have. They've always just taken their characters that Marvel has and they, make their own stories out of it. But they do borrow, scenes or themes or parts or characters from actual comics, but they mix them together with scenes and events and shit from other comics and they mix them together in one movie. And then, instead of rather like adapting or making their own spin on a particular comic run or story, which would be smart because then they would have countless, umpteen, infinite stories basically to make movies based on. But since they've used shit from all the stories from the golden age to now, all those stories are tainted. They can't adapt them anymore. So they're not, instead of adapting comics that may not fit the MCU's, I want to be careful about what I say here, outlook on things. So to combat that, they're just going to write their own comics. And they're going to say, when they do stuff now, like, oh, it's in the comics. It's comic accurate. Like, that's from the comics, right? Because they wrote stuff for the MCU just so they could say they've got stuff in their movie that's from the comics. Because they don't want to use comics that are already written that weren't written with the intention of being the MCU and fitting in the MCU's outlook on things. So it's very interesting that they then also turn around and hire writers who are not fans of comics. And then we've got like the DCUs over here who has Tom King, who is one of the greatest, writers in comics, writing their movies and overseeing like other movies and shit that he's not writing, but like helping out, like dude, it makes much more sense, and I think the product is going to be much better to comic fans. Now, Is it going to be better to the casual audience? I don't
No.
give a shit. I don't care. I'll keep it a buck. I don't give a shit. I don't. It's not my money.
Right.
That's number one. Two, you're using my beloved fandom to make your money. So you better be paying homage to the fans that made that shit popular enough that you could make money off of it. You owe us. There is you see that's what they don't get. Like you can't fuck the fans. You can't just say fuck the comic fans and we're making new fans. Well, those new fans don't owe they didn't earn shit. You don't owe them. You owe us. We earned it. We made your property so popular that you're making billions, not millions, but billions of dollars a year off of it. So, can you throw us a bone? Can you adapt some shit we recognize? Can the character at least resemble the character we know and have grown up with and made popular? These are just little things we ask. Now, what he says, staying true to the spirit of the source material has allowed Marvel Studios to deliver some of the least faithful adaptations we've seen, all while earning some of the love of fans and heaps of praise from critics. Now, Black Panther Wakanda Forever producer Nate Moore has shared one of the secrets to their continued success. I wouldn't call it continued success. Would you, Stu? Would you say they've had continued success since Endgame?
Absolutely not. Nowhere near. Not even
So,
close. Not even
so fuck
close.
that.
They no, I'm lying. They did have continued success with not bringing us a good product. So they've
They've
yeah,
succeeded
they've
in
been
giving us shit
yeah, and
consistently.
giving us right consistently. And
Now,
everybody agrees on that. Like that's not like somebody arguing over their favorite hip hop artist or song or what's the best food. That's consistent over the from the casual fans as well as the hardcore ones. Because I've talked to a few casual fans and they'll say it. They'll say stuff like the Marvels was I wasn't interested or I don't understand why they did that. Thor Ragnarok is a perfect. I mean, Love and Thunder. That's a perfect example. Um, a lot of people was like they just wasn't feeling it. Like, and
yeah.
the Thor movies were great. All of the Thor movies were great, and then you get to Love and Thunder. He's like, all right, what happened? Like, why?
Well,
Like, why do we even do this?
it's not only that they're not hiring writers that are comic book writers. Like that I could maybe understand because you're afraid to for them to favoritism their own stories or some shit. I don't know. But you're talking about fans. You won't hire writers who are fans of comics. That's bananas. Now, while you might think hiring hardcore comic book fans to write their movies would be a smart move, it turns out it's a red flag for Kevin Feige and company.
Mm.
He says, Nate Moore says, one thing I think is interesting, and specifically for writers, I would say, a lot of times we're pitched writers who love Marvel. And to me, that was always a red flag because I go, oh, I don't want you to already have pre-existing idea of what it is because you grew up with issue 15 and that's what you want to recreate. You said, that's an asshole. Hold on. So you don't want them to have a pre-existing idea of what it is because you want to put ideas in their heads. Well, I think writers should have the ideas, not executives. Call me crazy, but I think that's what the creative job is for. He says, I want somebody who's hard on the material, who goes, what is this? I think there's a movie in here, but maybe we should be looking at it in this way. No, no, no. These comics, well, not these comics, matter of fact. Let me go back to some pre-fucking MCU comics and pull them out of my long box there and show you these are well-written stories that, bro, you could recreate and twist and put it and make it your own way, and it's still gonna be your own thing but it's going to be recognizable by fans and beloved by fans. And this nonsense that you want to put ideas in their head or have them want to twist it and make it some other way, like the comic was written already like a movie. It's already cinematic. The story's already laid out there. Why would we want to look at it in another way? Unless you have a outlook on things that you want to inject into your movies. And so
which we know they do. We know they do.
yeah,
We
he
we
says,
also know that they yeah, we also know that they what you call it. That it just makes too much sense to hire somebody that knows these characters, knows how to write. Because you got to remember,
makes
comic
too
book
much sense.
writers they know comic book writers know these characters, so they have a feel for what they'll do, what they won't do, their personas. You know, they work hard at this. Like this isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the MCU, they want the writers not to have an understanding of the characters from the comics, not to know who they are in any way, because they want them to make up a new version, or they want to feed them the new version. Because if you have any, and bro, I'll tell you, this is confirmation. Like, this makes it make so much sense to me now. Because haven't you all, you know what I've always been asking myself? How is
but
someone that's a fan of these characters and shit, like how are comic people? How is Marvel? Because I'm like, Marvel is making the MCU. Like, Marvel makes these movies. How are Marvel people getting it so wrong? And now we know why. They're not Marvel people. The MCU is not Marvel people. They're not comic people at all. They're Hollywood, period. And they read a script, they write a script. Somebody tosses them an issue or maybe 10 comics at most. And they're like, here, skim through these, get a loose idea of what's going on here, who the character is. That's how, and I've heard actors be like, yeah, I was getting ready for the movie, and then they gave me issue 1, 2, and 3 or whatever. They gave me like 5 comics to read, and like I was really intrigued with the character. Like, bitch, you're telling me your first introduction to this character was a couple of comics they threw you after you already had the role?
pretty much.
But now we know. I mean, that's what we've always suspected, and dreaded. But yeah, he says the best example of that for me was Marcus and McFeely, who weren't comic guys coming up, but we were like, wait, Captain America, this seems a bit weird. What if we kind of looked at it in this way? And they weren't married to anything. Nothing was, nothing. There was nothing sacrosanct. That's why it's ass, sir. That's why it is ass. He said, I think it's important you be able to go look. The source material is great, and I love it. And comics work in the medium they were built in, but that's not a direct one-to-one translation, to be honest, version of the movie. And sometimes it takes someone who's out of this culture to go, hey, I know, I think this, it should be this, but maybe it should be this other thing. What? No, it shouldn't be, maybe it should be this, or you think it should be that. The culture is what it is. The comic is what it is. The character is what it is. Who the fuck are you to say fuck Stan Kirby or Stan Lee and Jack Kirby? Yeah, fuck Stan Kirby and what they knew. I think it should be like this. Fuck the millions of fans who've been, diehard their whole lives for decades. What do they know? I think it should be like this. I don't know, man. I don't know. The phrase unmitigated gall comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
There will be those who recoil at what Moore is saying here, but you need only look at the success Marvel Studios has found over the years to see that he's not wrong. Sir, are not paying attention. You only need to look at the down and decline of Marvel to see that he's full of shit. Not all the decisions that are made are great. Spider-Man really didn't need to be Iron Boy. Well, my friend, that's because they weren't comic fans. Every single thing that I've ever found wrong with the MCU, I now know is because they're not comic fans. But for the most part, our favorite heroes and villains have been translated to the screen in a near perfect way. I couldn't disagree more, but hey,
Hey, who are we?
who are
You know,
we? Who are
who are we?
we but comic
We're the
fans?
but the comic fans and the people that pay to go see these movies.
Yeah,
But
what the
with that,
fuck?
I got to roll out, man. It's that
Yeah.
time, man. I didn't overstay my welcome. But yeah, I agree, man. It's we're never gonna win that fight. And but here's the thing I have to say. Okay, you want to make your own universe, your own movie. You want to use these characters. You want to do your own stories. That's fine. But if you're gonna do that, give us stories that we like. Give us stories that we care about. Give us something that we can say, you know what? That's dope. I wish they would do it in the comics. Because what do we say about all comics? I wish they'd do that in the movies.
Yeah, man. And EGC, yeah, man, I feel you. But I couldn't try it 3 times. I tried once. I got like 20 minutes in, and I'm like, no, I can't waste the rest of my fucking
Slay,
2 hours on
Slay,
this, dog. Hell no.
Slay said I used to put it on my insomnia kick.
Word. I
He says
mean,
it's good.
that's
It was a good care.
yeah,
It's carrying
that's
it.
some Ambien for your ass. Oh,
Yeah.
before you go, Stu, real quick.
At least they're curing insomnia out there.
Before we wrap it up tonight, y'all, we're gonna do one quick what do you call it? Comic haul. And this is what we just picked up down the way. The second issue of Helverine with Dakin on the front. All Helverined out. Dope cover there. Hell Hunters #2. This is when Wolverine sort of joins like a World War II. I don't know. There's more to it. I mean, you can see it's mad serious. I
Yeah.
believe Nick Fury's in there, and so it's a dope crew. It's a hardcore violent joint. Sabretooth, The Dead Don't Talk, #3. I think I picked up 3 and 4, or 2 and 3. G.I. Joe #312. Is this 312? 311. 312 with Jinx and Scarlet being trapped by some frag vipers and some other bad dudes. We got #313 with the Destro and Cobra Commander. That's a cool suit, Cobra Commander, the all black suit
They need to come out with a they
with a
need to come
figure.
out with a classified joint.
Yeah.
That yeah.
Oh, speaking of classified Jones, they need to come out with. I got to show you one more thing before we go too.
I know everybody's mad about the classified breaker. The
Oh, bro, that's pissing me off right now. I can't get a break.
bro, bro, they were online. They were online tearing Hasbro up for that, man.
Nonsense.
Are you there?
Check that out. Who's that look like?
Mercer.
Mercer. Mercer in the works. There's his OG vest, so that did leak. So y'all know who Mercer is. I don't have an exact picture of Mercer, but yeah.
Morales.
A lot of shit to go over tonight, though. Check it out. Move this out the way. Who's on there? Who's on there? My man Tunnel Rat.
That's hard. That's a hard cover, bro.
Shit won't focus. God damn it. There it is. There it is. Beautiful. Yeah, Tunnel Rat. Dick Tracy, #7. Who's that? Space Ghost.
Space Ghost. That's a hard
Number
Space Ghost cover. Damn.
#9.
Dude.
Doom. Doom. We saw these already. Doom 1, 2. I'm at the Doom joints. This has been issue 1 was real good. This is issue 2, Cable, Love, and Chrome. Cable is one of my favorite characters. Ultimate Wolverine number 1. Number 2, I believe also I grabbed. This is Sabretooth. Dead Don't Talk number 2, Fangs of New York. Kind of a play on Gangs of New York, taking place in that same era from the Scorsese movie.
Well, he is about that old.
Yeah, I already showed these the other day. I showed these the other day. I think I showed these the other day. Yeah, I showed these. Oh, you didn't see that was the New Gods one you never saw from All In. The art on this is
Yeah.
crazy, Stu. Like crazy. The Absolute Superman number 4. The new Batman, Absolute Batman rather, number 5. And number 4. I showed this the other day too. But that's that's most of the haul right there from the other day.
It's a dope haul.
It's a dope haul.
Dope
I
haul.
wasn't mad.
It's a dope haul.
But oh, Knights of the Old Republic, a Disney Plus show they're talking about doing. So that could be a complete disaster. We'll talk about that, as well as Clayface being a straight up body horror, just horror flick, pure horror for somebody who doesn't give a shit about DC. And that's actual quote from the guy making Clayface. So Constantine sequel coming out moving forward. Starfire series. Superman test screening. Hasbro collectors will be the ones most impacted by the tariffs.
Yes, we
Yeah,
will. And that's no joke.
it's
Yes,
no
we
joke.
will.
It's real
And
shit.
now I heard, speaking of tariffs, that even though our president elect said he hasn't initiated the tariffs yet, or he's pulled back on something, trying to soften up, the mess that he made.
Mhm.
The other country said they're not pulling theirs back. They said that they're just going to leave it where it is. And one Canada Providence even threatened to shut off
Yeah.
electricity to the U.S.
I mean, the guy is a moron, and he's like has the one thing I knew. This is back when he was running against Hillary. I was like, oh no, that's not who we want doing foreign relations. We don't want that man over talking to foreign people of other cultures. Are you kidding me? And then look what he fucking does the other day, talking to the Ukraine guy. Made a complete ass of himself in our country. Like,
Wait. Oh, Rena, let me correct you. The Ukrainian president. That's what
what I
the
say?
Ukrainian. You said the Ukraine guy. That's the Ukraine. I mean, you're right, but I'm just saying you got to put it in perspective so people can understand.
Well,
What
yeah,
was going on. That was the
Ukrainian president.
Ukrainian. That's like our president going to another country
I don't want him
and
talking to the
somebody
Chinese
doing that.
president. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like our
I mean,
president going somewhere and their other constituent, just jumps in and says something wild and try.
bro,
It's the same thing.
in China, bro, you don't want to go over there fucking saying dumb shit.
No, no.
Trump, man, say what you will about him, but love him or hate him, he does not have the best
Delivery.
communicational ability with when it comes to foreign people or people of other cultures. I will say specifically. Now, whether whether he can make deals and all that shit with other American assholes, that's one thing. But people of other cultures, especially presidents and shit of other countries, like they're very dignified. They have a certain level of like, dignity that integrity and then they see Americans already as like having no dignity, no integrity, just being complete assholes. And then you have the guy representing us over there acting exactly what they already think about us. And that's why I liked Obama. I liked Obama because he carried himself with dignity. He was not an ass. He wasn't out here having blowjobs like Clinton. He wasn't a buffoon like George W. He was dignified and people fucking respected him. Other countries respected him. He could go over there. He could talk to them. Coup de la. This cat, not so much. But I called it. I called it when he was running it against Hillary. I said, this is Lex Luthor, bro. Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor as president.
Agreed.
Lex Luthor as president. But so check this out. Back to what we were talking about real quick before we go. Marvel writer claims Kevin Feige ordered Kamala Khan death for MCU Synergy. What they're saying is that this guy's literally blowing the whistle that Feige told him that Kamala Khan needs to die in your comic so it can go along with the movie. Because apparently she's going to die or something. So reports of Feige's involvement in the death of Ms. Marvel storyline are greatly exaggerated. It seems Marvel has clarified with IGN that Ziegler's version of events is inaccurate and that the decision to kill Kamala and resurrect her as a mutant was collectively made by Marvel Comics editorial staff, not Feige. Well, I'm so glad they put this at the top of the article because it just proves how full of shit they are. Like, so you're telling me that coincidentally the comics writers and shit just coincidentally decided to make Kamala Khan a mutant, had nothing to do with the MCU? She's already a fucking Inhuman in the comics. That would make no sense. So they literally, for the MCU, killed Kamala Khan in the comics and had her resurrect as a mutant for the MCU. And just them saying that it wasn't Feige for the MCU, period. And what did he say? So he says it was funny watching the whole Kamala stuff was going down. The Amazing Spider-Man told me, he told me months before the plan, which was Feige was like, hey, I don't do this very often, but can you please do this to make things in line with Marvel because we have some stuff we want to do with Kamala. So Wells was like, fuck, I'm the guy that drew the short straw. People are going to get very mad. I have to kill Miss Marvel. It's my Tracy Morgan face. And then they go back and they backpedal and they say that's not true. The editorial staff said it, not Feige. Well, let's see another article. Kevin Feige directly asked for Kamala Khan to die for MCU Synergy, says a Marvel writer. The story came on the most recent episode of the Amazing Spider Talk podcast. An interview between host Dan Zovin and writer Cody Ziegler, ostensibly there to promote Miles Morales' Spider-Man and Spider-Punk arms race. Ziegler gets his career on both sides of the fence, writing for She-Hulk TV show, and how they got him the gigs, co-writing for Beyond Era of Amazing Spider-Man, and eventually Miles and Hobie. So this is not just some, internet scooper or some shit. It's an inside dude. So I mean, there's no question anymore, if there ever was one, that it's 100% bullshit made up for the MCU. All your comics are tainted now. Like, I don't even know what. And when I read some of these new comics, bro, they seem like they're written by like people that aren't
5-year-olds.
Well, no, it's like they're not only doing it for the movies, they also don't want fans of comics to be writing their comics now.
Right.
Because they don't want them
what?
tainted
Yeah.
by previous Marvel.
And they want us to start saying, like, I guess they're trying to make it all sync so they don't have to hear the hardcore comic book fans say, but this didn't happen in the comics. Why is it happening here?
Right. Exactly why. And then, not only that, it's like I feel like shit is generic and not natural and not real. Like this whole Doom thing, like or whatever. You know, if you did it just to go along and be with the MCU, then it's not organic. It doesn't feel real. Like I don't believe it. And the whole thing with Kamala Khan, not that I was ever really ever read a Kamala Khan comic in my life or was a Kamala Khan fan. As a fan of comics, had they done that to anything I was reading or a character I'd be pissed. What do you mean you're gonna kill Wolverine or you're gonna kill Cable and make him come back and now he's an Inhuman just because they wanted to make an Inhuman movie with Wolverine in it? And they're changing that in comic canon? Bruh. That's the same thing they did with Kamala Khan. Just imagine if it wasn't Kamala Khan. It was a character that people fucking gave a shit about. It's crazy shit. It's crazy to think about. What else?
That should be it, man. But I gotta roll.
Yeah, that's it, man. We're gonna get back here and talk about Clayface and Constantine 2 and all that good stuff on Wednesday. So yeah, man, have a good rest of your weekend, everybody. Be safe and all that good stuff. And we will see you Wednesday. Peace.
Peace.